Hi, I'm Arden Kaywin, and today's episode of the Pro Singer Success Collective is Do You Have What It Takes? Stay tuned.
I'm so excited to be here to talk to you today because this is a question that we're going to talk about today that I know gets in there, and the inner critic and the monkey mind goes a little nutso about it, and just this idea of, do you have what it takes? And I know a lot of you ask yourself that question in your quiet moments. Do I really have what it takes to be able to sing at this level, to be able to have this career, to be able to break through? So that's why I'm excited to talk about this topic today. Do you have what it takes? Because I know that you're out there and you are spending so much time and energy and money on your singing and your skill set. You're out there, you're hustling and you're putting yourself out there. You're auditioning, you're gigging, you're recording, and you're not breaking through into the big leagues in the way that you want. And you're not sure what else you could possibly be doing to get there. And so it can really make you question, do you really have what it takes, if you really have what it takes to do this? And I know that so many of you know that you have this voice. You know you have this talent, this voice, this potential. But is there something else? Is there something more that it takes to be a world-class artist? And so in this live, I'm going to deconstruct for you exactly what it takes to really own your voice and have an abundant career, and how to know also maybe when it's time to, move on. If you realize that you're not meant for this, and that's okay too. But if you really understand exactly what it takes, then you maybe will realize, oh, if I can do these things, I can move forward powerfully. So in this life, there's really 5 ideas that I have noticed over the years, 5 traits, if you will, that I've noticed that really make for those singers who can really own it and have world-class careers. And so here's how I'm going to break it down. So I'm going to tell you what these are up front, and then we're going to go into each of them. So the 5 traits that I've noticed: first thing, commitment. Got to be committed, super committed. The second trait, got to be resourceful and decisive, which means you see an opportunity, you go after it. You don't procrastinate. You're not full of excuses for why you can't, right? So first trait, committed. Second trait, super resourceful and decisive towards going after what you want. No excuses. Getting creative to find what you need to get where you want to go. Third trait, accountable, right? There are daily practices, both for your instrument and your mindset, that I have noticed that those who really move forth powerfully tend to have these things, and accountability is one of these traits. Having a daily practice of conditioning your mindset, having a daily practice of working your technique. Michael Jordan is a fantastic example of this, right? He's an athlete, but so are we, right? You're asking your body to do the same thing over and over again for a desired outcome. It's no different than a basketball player, like perfecting the mechanics of his throw, right? So, Michael Jordan is an example of this idea of accountability. Like, how do you get to be the best in the world? Like, is Michael Jordan sitting on his couch? He's shooting drills. Like, after he had won 3 championships, I've seen documentaries on him where, like, he's still the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. He is still doing drills, like, after however many championships. So accountability is a hugely important trait that I've noticed for those who really go on to have, like, incredible journeys and world-class careers. The 4th trait is vulnerability. And so for an artist, this is really important because your vulnerability determines your ability to make an impact on the audience. And that impact is the thing that's going to have them coming back again and again and again to see your performances, to buy your records, to hire you, for shows if it's casting director or whatever, right? So vulnerability, there are no blocks between you and your audience. Your energy flows freely. You let them see you. You let yourself be seen. So vulnerability, I think, is super important. And the last trait has to do with courage and confidence. Courage to put yourself out there, confidence to know your worth, know your talent, and own your special sauce, not trying to be something that somebody else is because that's what's in right now. And you have to be that to be successful. That's giving away your power. The world already has a Katy Perry, a Pavarotti. Like, we don't need another. We need you. But it takes courage and confidence to stand in that and not mold yourself to what you think everybody else wants. Because that's what makes original artistry, and that's what makes an impact. So these are the 5 things we're going to get into: commitment, resourcefulness, accountability, vulnerability, and courage slash confidence. So, I'm a huge fan of Lady Gaga for many reasons. I think, she lives very authentically, and she's just unapologetic about who she is, what she goes after. And there's the documentary about her, which is called, I'm blanking on the name right now, but it's all about the making of the album, where on the album cover, she's wearing the pink felt hat. This came out maybe 2 years ago. Watch the documentary about her, because you really get an insight into the mindset and heart set of a performer who, is making world-class waves with her career and her message. So she has always been, before even anybody knew who she was. And yes, 5'2". Thank you. That's what it is. That's the name of the documentary. Thank you. 5'2". Yes. So when you watch the doc, and if you read about her, and if you read about her, like, she has always been, before anybody knew who she was, all of those things that I just mentioned about. Super committed and accountable. Like, she made her dream her number 1 priority. She kept her eye on the prize, and every action that she took from that day when she was like in high school and college and people were making fun of her because of what she wanted, until today, has been aligned with that purpose. And she's always committed to her craft. She has always studied. She is a trained singer, which is why she can go on tour and sing, crazy dance pop. And then she can go make a record with Tony Bennett doing jazz standards, So she's trained, she's always stayed accountable to her voice. It's also why she can tour year in and year out, and her voice always shows up for her, and the traits of courage and vulnerability. She is not afraid to put herself and her ideas out there. She has never apologized for who she is, and her fans eat it up because it's not artifice. It is really her, and she really owns it. Like, how many people do you know can show up to an award show wearing a meat dress? And people skewered her for that, but she didn't give a you-know-what, because she cared about that messaging. It was who she is. And that's it, nothing else matters. And her fans, are completely resonating with this message. Like, her fan club, she calls them little monsters. And all of her messaging since the beginning of time has been about, like, owning your weird and owning your, your individuality and being who you are. And the thing is, she walks that talk. It is 100% authentic to her. She has that courage and that vulnerability to be herself, which is why when she goes out there and she preaches this message in her music and everything, her fans are so aligned with that because they see her doing it. So all of these things, committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable, these are things that you either are or you're not when it comes to your singing. They are a decision. When people want something bad enough, you guys, I have never met somebody who could not be those 4 things if they knew that it meant getting what they want. But there's one thing, one huge thing that can derail somebody from being committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable, courageous to their dreams. And that thing is fear. Fear. Fear of, will it work for me? Will I invest my time and my energy in doing this training or doing, working with this producer or putting myself out there, making this record, and like, will it work for me? What if I get super resourceful and I really commit to putting in all this time and energy and money into this dream? What if I go for broke and just go balls to the wall and it doesn't work out? The fear of that is going to keep you sitting on the bench. The fear that stems from inconsistency in your ability to deliver with your voice. Like we talk about a lot in a lot of these conversations, when you have inconsistency and you don't trust that you know that your voice can show up to its potential and deliver 100% of the time, every single time, right? If you feel that fear, that inconsistency, that's going to really prevent you from making opportunities and taking opportunities and investing in all of these things with your energy and your time and your money, right? Because if you don't feel confident, like you own it, you're not going to go for it in the way that you need to in order to succeed. And then there's the fear of being vulnerable, like of really being seen, that you are enough. Your voice is enough. The way you look, the way you are is enough. Because if you are trying to make up for the not enough stuff thinking, right? The audience feels that, and then you can't be vulnerable and there's a block, and then you don't make the impact. The nerves that come from that, the nerves that come from not thinking that you're enough. My voice is not enough. My sound is not enough. I don't look this certain way or whatever it is, right? That creates nerves when you go into performance. And it also creates self-protection in front of an audience. And so then feel like you've got something to prove, because when we deal with the feelings of not enough, then we all feel like we need to prove that we are enough. And so that shows up in a lot of ways in the performance, number one, in the performance energy, where it's all of this, like, look at me, listen to me, like all this outwardly focused energy, which, the audience can feel. They don't like it. We don't like it. Like, you've all seen those artists, like in on the competition shows, like on Idol and The Voice, and they're just proving and they're just trying so hard, and you're just like, stop. Like, you have a good voice, just like chill, but that need to prove energy totally cuts you off from your audience, and it really affects your ability to make a world-class sound, because all that need to prove shows up in the body and in your instrument as make, force, do, push, manipulate, try too hard, which then kicks you off your technique, and then you don't make the sound that you could make. And so because of that and all of the energetic stuff, your performances don't connect. And so if you are fearful about any of these things, will it work for me if I invest my time and my energy and my money and it doesn't work out? Fear stemming from the inconsistency of your voice to deliver, fear of being vulnerable. If you are fearful about any of these things, no matter how badly you wish to realize the full potential of your talent into a successful singing career, my experience is it will never happen. Because the fear will take you out. The fear will take you out of being truly committed, truly decisive, resourceful, accountable, and courageous into doing what you need to do to sing and perform at a level and go for those things at a level that will get you what you want. Now, I bet there are a bunch of you watching this who can say a resounding yes. I am those four things. I am absolutely committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable to making a huge impact with my voice. If that's you, then you actually have everything you need. You have everything it takes to be a world-class artist. And so then the reason you're not there yet is because you just need a structure and a strategy to help you cross that bridge of fear And so if you knew how to tap into your vulnerability, own your voice consistently, and be that 100% confident, courageous, vulnerable performer, then you'd be doing it already. You'd be doing it already. But just because you're not doing it now doesn't mean that you can't ever do it, right? My favorite saying is, don't confuse where you are with where you want to go. If you know that you need help to make these shifts, but you're not sure how, then let me help you. Because this is what I do, you guys, is help talented singers get past their blocks to perform in a way that makes this dream possible. And, you know, I know there are so many of you who have spent so much time on your training. You've had professional technical training with one-on-one experts, and you've been doing it for years, and you've invested in, you know, summer programs or, you know, recording courses or whatever genre, you know, you're in. You've done a lot of things. You're out there doing the hustle, but your auditions are just not landing and making the impact that they need to get you out of the chorus and into those lead roles, to get you, you know, recordings that are not going to just languish without any mainstream attention. You know, are you sick of that? Are you sick of putting all that energy out there and not getting the results that you want? You know, if it is, it's because some of these things are kind of out of alignment and you need to make these shifts. And you just need the structure and the strategy to know how to do it. So I always set aside time in my calendar to share these steps that I use with the singers in my program, this exact step-by-step strategy with you, because I want you to know there's like a different way to do this. This is stuff that traditional training does not teach. This is how traditional training fails singers, because it does not teach you the structure and the strategy for how to cultivate these things and align with these traits so that you can actually use all of the technical training that you have to thrive and be world class. Now, this is not for new singers. This is not learn to sing. This is not learn technique from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? This call is for singers who have all that and you're still wondering why you haven't gotten that breakthrough yet into the big career that you really want. So if you know that you need to make these shifts, past the fear, past those things, those blocks that are preventing you from really stepping into your power as an artist, this is what I do, is to help you guys understand that. And I always set aside time in my calendar to share with you the strategy of how I do this. And as usual, the call is totally free. And I want to hear what's going on with you and what's going on with your career and your singing. And if I think I can help you, I will let you know. And if not, that's okay. I will point you to somebody else or something else that I think can help you get the outcomes that you want. So on the call, what we do is we chat for like 45 minutes. And I'm going to lay out the strategy for you that's going to help you maximize your talent to be that confident, vulnerable performer so that you can consistently nail the performances that will connect with your audience and open the doors to all the opportunities, to the life and the career that you have been working towards and waiting for this whole time. And like I said, this call is not for everyone. It's for you if you've had a lot of training and experience. You're out there hustling for the dream. You're committed, decisive, resourceful, accountable. You're already got balls in motion in the career, and now you're ready to up level. So if you haven't had that technical training yet, go get that first. Don't book this call if that's you. Do that. Lay that foundation first. Because look, if you haven't studied one-on-one, if you haven't had professional technical training, be committed, be resourceful to solidify that first. And then if you have had a good deal of training and you're still not where you want to be, if in your quiet moments you're lying there and you guys like, I remember this. Oh, I remember this like when I was in my early 20s and I was like, I'd be lying there in my bed, staring at the ceiling, like wondering, like, do I really have what it takes? Like, am I really going to be able to do this on a big scale? You know, if you're lying there wondering these things, you know, am I ever going to be able to like really break through so that I don't have to continue having this side job forever? You know, like if you know that you're absolutely committed and decisive and resourceful and accountable, you guys, I keep coming back to these traits. if you know you're those things, to making a huge impact with your voice so that you can thrive and break through into that bigger career that you want, I want you to know that these are the main ingredients that I look for in artists that I know I can help. And so if you need a little help to get there, I'm here for you. So there's the link again to book the call, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into today's episode. If you want to subscribe, click the link right over there that says subscribe. And if you want to book a breakthrough session with me, which you absolutely should do, then click the link right over here that says book a call to schedule an appointment to speak with us. I'll see you on the next episode.